Oh, sorry. I didn't notice that you came up. Am I in your way? Oh, good. Sorry, I won't cause any trouble. I'm just here to clear my head. I won't get in your way, so do what you need to. No? Paimon? I left her in our teapot. I just said that I was going to go for a walk in Liyue Harbor. Well, I might have lied a little. But I'm still in Zhongli's territory, so it wasn't a full lie. You know, when I'm in a high place like this, I feel as though I can let go of all of my worries. It brings a sense of nostalgia. You see, my brother and I would roam the stars together. We would go from world to world together, adventuring and experiencing new things together. We would also spar a lot. I would always tease him about being weaker than me. He would then pout for a moment before saying, "Well, if I was so strong, then why was I so slow?" We then would race. Of course, he always beat me. But, you know, me and him were as close as two siblings could be. We told each other everything. And if we ever split up, we would both stay up late once we reunited, excitingly telling each other about what we experienced. There was not a secret between us. And now that I'm separated from him, I I realize just how much I miss that type of connection with someone. I know I have a lot of friends in Tibet and Paimon, but there are just some things that I can't tell them. When when Zhongli first told me that I was a witness of this world, I didn't at first understand the gravity of his words. I simply shrugged them off, just passed by as I thought because he was a god, an archon, that he too is a witness of this world. But once I made it to Sumeru, and with what happened with Nahida, I I finally understood the weight of his words. When being a witness, the scribe, the record keeper of something, you don't fully understand the weight until you are given information that must never be repeated. Then you question what is the point of your memories if they're not to be shared. Yes, memories for yourself are great, but they're wonderful to look back on. But sharing those memories with others is also fun. To share memories with your loved ones and you bonding and growing closer from having similar stories and interest. So, when Greater Lord Rukkhadevata, I when I first fell into this world, you couldn't imagine how confused I was. The last thing I remembered was seeing my brother being swallowed by black and red cubes from some unknown god. And the next thing I know, I'm eating sand as a crab scurries past me. My body ached, and I felt so powerless. I felt as a shell of my former self, the one that could fly through the stars and travel worlds. I couldn't summon my wings, my powers, my sword. I had nothing. I fell so much into despair. I'm I'm a bit ashamed to say that I cried. I cried so hard. It hurt. Just everything hurt. But there was one thing that managed to push me forward, and that was thinking that my brother was experiencing the same pain and loneliness that I was. So I couldn't just give up there. I I had to get up and find him. But I knew I was just a shell of my former self, and that I had only a fraction of my strength. So I got up and did what I had to survive. I found food and I started to train to build up some of my muscle again. And while I was training, I found Paimon. And we became traveling companions from then on. She helped me find food and I cooked it for her. But my brother was always gnawing at the back of my mind. So I said I couldn't just stay content by scraping by. And as I was taking the first steps into Devat, I I felt as though I was going to be paralyzed with fear. I mean, I never traveled a world alone before. Everything felt so new. But when I saw the fear in the people of Mondstadt facing Dvalin, I felt all of my anxiety and fear wash away. I was filled with courage instead. I felt as though I couldn't just stand by anymore. I felt as though I felt as if I found my new purpose until I can find my brother, and that was helping people. When I was helping people, I didn't have to think all of these thoughts swirling around in my mind. All I had to do was help, because surely, if I can make other people's lives better, mine would get better too, right? I know. I sound pretty selfish, right? I just help people for my own selfish gain, for my own self-satisfaction. So, I helped Venti with Dvalin, helped Zhongli, A, and Nahida. I helped them and got to know their story. I was desperate, desperate for a distraction. And of course, if I helped them, then they would feel as though they would have to repay me. So I could ask about my brother, and I could try to find a thread, just any trace of him that I could follow. But the only trace I found was that doesn't mean I didn't build a genuine connection with them, or that I didn't build a genuine relationship with anybody along the way. I still hold and treasure the moments I've spent with everybody. With Yoimiya, Sino, Amber, Jean, and even Child, funnily enough. I still cherish the time I've spent with them. I wasn't faking my emotions. Just when Nahida told me that the Fatui didn't even mark him down as a descender, and with his ties to, it makes me confused. Was Aether always from Tevat? But I remember so clearly of our time among the stars. He couldn't have always been in Tevat because he was so clearly by my side before that abyss swallowed us. Sorry for rambling about this to you. I know. I said I wouldn't bother you. Yet here I am, dumping all of my problems onto you without even asking. Sorry about that. Thank, thank you, though. Thank you for staying here and listening to me just ramble. I don't want to burden Paimon with these heavy topics. I I know we've been through a lot, but I just I don't want to tell her. Do you mind if I lean my head against your shoulder? Thank you. Just for a little bit. I promise.